Hey all, and welcome back. Just to continue from last time, I ran into some bugs, and so I've been working on those here in my Dark Tower Defense game in GDevelop, and had some issues where I was really banging my head against the wall, thinking that the enemies were not taking damage when they were in collision with a bullet, because all the numbers were the same, but it turns out that I was only revealing the health number for a single enemy across all enemies on the screen, and so it turns out that the bug was a lot smaller than I thought, but that I didn't realize the data in front of me was not the complete picture. Anyways, what I wanted to work on tonight, just for a little bit here, was the UI for upgrading the towers. And so what I have so far is when I place a single tower, there will be, you click on it and options for tower upgrade buttons will spawn out, and then you click on a tower upgrade button. In this case, I just have two of them in place. So in this case, you pick the purple one, you get this tower. Both the tower head and the tower base will change a little bit. The orange one looks like this, and stats change as well, which is not really going to be my focus right here so much as the UI, but I'll show you what I have so far. Essentially, I have three towers that look and act differently. So the basic one, it'll have the slowest attack rate and a single bullet. Then the second upgraded one, the purple one, it'll fire 2 shots at a slightly increased rate. And then finally the last one, actually that's to do tonight as well. It will fire even more shots, I think 3 at the highest rate. So let's update that third one and then add additional options on the UI here. So opening up the code, it's more like pseudocode. Here we have the orange button. Really, I want to place this down below since it's more upgraded than the purple at this point in time. So that will be indented here. And then let's see, let's double check. I should have done this while it was up, but I don't think that a couple of things should happen. Once the enemies are in range, and this is orange, the tower head here should start rotating, and it should also be firing. Right now it's not rotating, which might be the reason it's not firing, but let me start by looking at the object itself. It should have a sticker, and I think it needs a timer. Yes, right there, add the timer, because here in the code, down below, actually up above. So here we've got Tower 1, Tower 2, Tower 3 is the orange button. So we actually need to create that here. Let me copy the Tower 2 code. And then this is essentially just going to be replacing Tower 2 text with Tower 3. And this is an area where I don't really want to use a group because there will be enough unique elements here. Like this is where I want it to be custom. So I'm not really going to use too many groupings here. So there will be some manual entry. But let me look here. So Tower 2, and I want to replace that with Tower Head 3. I don't want to replace all, though. It is case sensitive, and let me save this before I ruin it. Yeah, it's doing a replace all, which is not at all what I want to do. So I'll just jump into this manually. Tower Head 3 there. I can copy that whole thing if I need it. 3, 3. And essentially, what I have in mind for starters is to make like maybe like 8 to 10 tower types that have unique characteristics. I'll probably have something like a basic tower type, as every game does. And it will be upgraded a few times, and then once it's upgraded a few times, the player can then pivot and choose more of a specialty like a freezing tower, a lightning tower, etc. So probably a lot of elements, and piercing tower, something like that. And those are the towers for which I want to make the UI buttons during the session. And I have the basic functionality for those already in place, so hopefully I can get that knocked out in the time required. But, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. In theory, it'll work. Here I've got, I actually have a couple different ranges. Tier. I have three different ranges, so for this, we'll just start with Tier 3 range. I'm not even going to worry about all these stats, but as you can see, I've got some like the bullet speed. I can make that slightly faster, so it's higher velocity bullets. And then I could change the animations of the bullet. I think I do have some different bullet looks. I mean, I could pick another one. And it's also firing a light, like literally a light, along with the bullet to give it some, well, just a little more pop on the screen, since the screen is so shadowy. And I don't think it's going to fire yet, but let's double check. turn this into that tower. Oh, yeah, it's definitely working. That is OP. Bam. I don't have enough enemies for that. Collect up the light. Obviously, once these enemies get to the target there, they would eat the light and it'll get darker. This is a downgrade right here to the purple tower. Okay, well, that was short and sweet. So, although here's a little bug. It did not upgrade the look of this tower head. Fun. It's upgrading the base. I wonder which functionality it has. So it's a purple tower head. Okay, well that'll be something for me to debug. It's a kind of a mix of everything, because it's firing the bullet animation of the sprite of this orange tower, but both the tower head and the base are the second purple tower, and it's firing at the rate of the purple tower. Even if I upgrade it to the orange. So there's a bug to note. Sticky pad here. Alright, so what we have for those buttons, we have purple and orange. I'm just going to start off by making some duplicates. I'm not exactly sure. We could do like... we could do a red. Purple, orange, red, green, blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just start working on those real quick. Some of these we could just change the color in-game. So I wonder, because if I open it up, there are 3 sprites within the button, obviously for idle, hovered, and pressed. And I could just replace those, I could edit those. Or I could edit them programmatically in the code. So... and if I do that, it'll save storage. It'd be a smaller file size and everything for the overall project with not really that high overhead in terms of processing. So I'm inclined to go that route. Let's see what that would look like. We already have this. I'll tell you what, I'll just drop one of these out on the screen. So that's the one that needs to be red. So if I open up the preview right now, we'll see this little orange thing. What size is it when I actually spawn it? It's quite a bit bigger. Let me drag that out. All right, so that's red. If I go in here to the very top of the scene, I've got some unconditional updates. So why don't I change the hue of the upgrade button red. Is it the hue? Color? Is it gonna let me? might not let me since this is not an individual sprite, which is kind of annoying. Let's see, so what can I do? Tween color effect. Let's just call it red. If it'll let me. No, that's an object. What am I looking for here? I haven't used this exactly. Tweens the object color from its current value to a new one, with values between 0 and 255. You must enter text between quotes or a valid expression call. To color, and we'll want, should just be 255.00 for red. Linear is fine, I suppose, and then do not destroy the object. Tween on the hue. Let's say yes. Not totally sure here. Kind of exploring new territory there. Let's see what happens. Tween the color of upgrade button red to red linearly over 10 minutes. And that's the name of the tween. But do I need to add tweening to it? Oh, there it is. It's got the tween. So alright, let me double check something here. We could do... I might need to come back to that. I probably need to just do my homework on tweening the color. I feel like we're close to it, but I don't want to waste too much time here. Maybe the 600 is a problem. Let me see. Probably is. Let's, yeah, try 0.5. Still not looking very red, is it? Okay. I don't know. Take a look at the asset store, which is where that came from. Ultimately, I may replace the actual look of it, but I just want to get this all built out for starters. Oh, why am I typing bullet? I need a button, not a bullet. This is where that came from. They do actually have, yeah, they've got the purple, the orange. So let me just, let's go to the assets for the project. The resources. And then search button. And what I could do is actually download some of these. And if I can, if I download them, I could just change the hue real quick in like GIMP or something. So save. Alright, those have all been saved. My Windows Explorer keeps crashing, which is kind of annoying, but let me move these over to my asset folder. And open these up for editing. Let's do, I just reimaged my computer, so I guess I need to go ahead and get GIMP real quick. So, that's kind of annoying, but it should be quick. I've got an Intel Arc graphics card, and I thought it would be a good middle ground, but it seems to have some compatibility issues that are a little challenging to figure out. Let's see if this is done. Yes. Install. Okay. In the meantime, I think we want when the button options come out of the tower, I'm thinking probably move these up a little further and maybe closer together. So if I've got, let's say 8. I mean, I guess it would just be more like a bit of a square, but if I did 12, it would be 2 on top, 2 per side plus 1 on each corner. Could do that. Obviously, at some point it would scale up, I imagine, but, as a starting point, it's not too bad. All right, here we are. we've got GIMP running. So first, the first one here is hovered. And I basically want to create grayscale versions of this and save those as like a base. I think that's what I want to do. What other options? We could also just literally drag it to red. Let's see. I mean, honestly, that's simple enough too, isn't it? What was that? Negative 35. Oops. It's not too shabby. Maybe negative 40. So let me mark that number down. Okay, and then lightness can stay the same. I'll just save that directly. Okay, and then same thing here, go to colors. Negative 30, actually it's negative 40. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing. Red button with stone frame idle. Last, hue and saturation, negative 40, okay, file, export as, red, that's for the pressed animation. Let's get those into the game, make some progress. Close the preview actually. Go to the code and go to the object. So we will explore the procedural coloring in the future. For now, let's just get these assets in here. We'll replace the actual. So here's the idle sprite. From my device, choose file, pictures, assets, pressed. Wait, was it pressed? No, that was idle. Hovered, same thing. And finally, pressed. Apply. Now, let's drop that out there. We should see all three in action. It's the most exciting thing in the world is a button. And it seems to be working. So, there's that. Let's get the green. And I think what I could do is drag that to wherever we want it. What kind of tone of green do we want? Something poppy. And I always wonder what this looks like for people who are either fully or partially colorblind. Because I know that whenever I wear red lenses, red and green look similar. Like if I have red lenses on, I cannot see a green stoplight very well. Like right now, that's split between green and red, so I wonder what that looks like. But, you know, for ease of access and to help out with colors, could always add like symbols into the button itself to help distinguish. But that will have to be in a later session. All right, I'm gonna save this. That is 107. Let's call it 110. Okay, I don't like 110 actually. A little more yellow in there. $101. I'll just save this as a preset. We'll just call it green. Okay. And then export. Same thing here. Color, hue saturation. Apply the preset. And export that. So what would you say your favorite part of game making is? Do you like focusing on the code? Do you like the overall design? You know, the high level game design? Do you prefer working on the assets? If you like working on the assets, do you like the visuals? Do you like the music? Because I enjoy dabbling in all of it. Oh man, I think I just overwrote something. I enjoy dabbling in all of it, but I think that I don't have a specialty. I think I'm definitely not like the strongest coder, but I do enjoy the logic and the problem solving that comes along with it. It's really kind of it feels good to run into a problem and then to solve it logically. So I probably get my biggest high out of solving challenging coding tasks. All right, let's open up the green and replace these sprites as well. Yeah, I did overwrite one of those. Oh well, it's just red. Idle up first, followed by hovered, and then pressed. Apply. All right, blue. We're doing blue next. Let's try not to overwrite anything this time. Okay, hue and saturation. Let's pick a blue that we like. And we could even end up having two different versions of this. But right now I'll just give it a sort of a standard blue. Something like that. Is that 128.4? Let's make it an even 128. And I'll put that at preset called blue. Export this one. And the last. Blue button with zone frame pressed. Alright. Go back to the game and get those here. Files from device, idle. The Bible says not to have idles, but if you want a button that looks proper, you're going to need a few idle animations. And finally pressed. Alright, apply that. So now we've got several colors out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not nearly enough. Why don't we make a... I'm not sure how I feel about putting in super bright colors, but could you maybe like a sort of a cyan? If I have like an icy tower, maybe I would want it to be sort of cyan colored. Could give that a shot. So let me duplicate one of these again. This would just be a minor change here. Hue and saturation. I mean, it's that color exactly, so. I mean, it is pretty bright, but it is also found in nature for sure. 42. Alright, let's go and export this one. So it's Shift Control E. Y1. Two. And 3. I lost all the data off one of my hard drives because I had to, well, essentially re-image it, and I didn't want to bother scraping the data back off of there. Didn't lose anything too valuable, it's mostly just system files, but the nice thing about GDevelop is it is continually saving to a cloud project, so, I mean, I can open it. I prefer working in the desktop app, but I can open it from a desktop browser, a browser on my phone, or an Android app itself. So lots of options. And I didn't lose any work at all. No stress there. Alright, let's get the cyan buttons put in here. I always think of cayenne when I see this word. Cayenne pepper. That would be a very different color. Hovered. And then let's go with pressed. I think that is 6 so far. 1, 2, 3. So we've got these colors. And just sort of looking at this, if we have, let's say, a tower base here, and obviously would have like some kind of tower head on there, where do we want the upgrade buttons to appear? They would be a little bit bigger than these, but if I just drag and drop real quick, it would be something like so. I mean, at the moment we only have 6, but if we do 8, it would be kind of like this, where you'd have green ones are kind of hard to see against the grass. Like so, and then something like this. Maybe aligned with the edges of the tower. You know, to where it feels more round than square. And then I would just need to basically tween those out to those positions. And they'd be a slightly larger than that. And then, so for example, if I open up the preview, put the actual tower, well, it's not going to let me put it there. Over here, you know, they're going to be that size, so they would need to be pretty far out. I think that would work. For now, how about I go ahead and get the next two colors in, and then probably in my next session I will code those in to have them tween out into their positions, and then we will start assigning actual tower types to them. So it seems like a logical order of progression here. So what colors then? We've got a purple, orange, red, green, blue, cyan. Could go with a yellow. Could go with a gray. We could do a gray, sort of a silvery gray. I mean, that makes sense. It just depends on what the actual tower type is. These might change completely, but let's get these in for now. I mean, so technically, if I were just to say desaturate it, that would give us gray, and then, I mean, probably wouldn't even mess with the lightness or anything. Hue doesn't matter. Let's just try that, get a gray in there. So hit OK on this. Control-Shift-E. Gray. With an A. Hue and saturation. Hey, what's up? The giant spider. It's an emergency. All right, well, we had a jumping spider the size of a, well, it seemed like it was about the size of a dinner plate, but it was probably the size of a penny. All right, where were we? Gray button with stone frame idle, gray with an A, export, and one to go. And yeah, so after this, we'll just need one more colored button. So I'll need to decide what I want for that. Let's go ahead and get these into the game. We've got all right, duplicate this, call it gray, and replace the sprites. Hopefully these, even if they don't show up too well just like this, I can add behaviors to give them sort of a background, like highlighting or glowing or drop shadows. All right, hovered, and then finally pressed. Files from the device, pressed, depressed. So yeah, I could do some pretty cool things with those. One of the coolest things, because we just had a solar eclipse here, right, recently. So I realized I'd already kind of created what looks like a moony solar eclipse on one of my towers, which is this upgrade. I click on this button, and it's a dark orb with a light coming from behind it, and it's grayscale. And I didn't realize that at the time when I put that in there, because I changed the hue of this thingy to a red, which looked pretty cool. But I realized that this looks just like a solar eclipse. So I could play off of that, do some sort of like a lunar, I don't know. Do werewolves come out during solar eclipses? You could do like life leech or something. Alright, anyways, I've got purple. If I put these in order, it'd be, yeah, sort of a purple, red, orange, green, blue. There's a cyan and a gray. What else? Like again, it really just depends on what abilities I give them. But what else would stand out? Something, do like a fuchsia or something, but I'm not sure if it's the vibe of the game at all. And that orange is kind of close to a brown. Let's just open up GIMP and tweak the color scale. Hue and Satch. You know, it's actually going to be annoying. I need to drag in some colored ones, I think. And drag these three in. There we go. So that's the hovered, that's more the normal right here. So if I go to the colors, hue, and then just drag this around. Like I could have something like this, or just almost like more golden than orange, and I'm okay with that. Gold kind of fits the vibe, but I just don't want it to look too samey. Which that might. Could do sort of like, if I go into this sort of a I've got purple already, but if I play with the lightness, could look kind of neat. Let's do a split view there. Of course, the lightness is going to impact the frame on it quite a bit. I've already got a blue and a cyan and a purple, but I could do something sort of in between, like sort of darker. Yeah, I guess this is where having the actual tower abilities in mind would play, well, it'd pay dividends. Have like, you know, sort of a purpley mage beam. I'm imagining like a purpley mage beam, or blast, like an arcane blast. Maybe like a red lasery type of beam. Could have an orangey fire particle that might come out of the orange button. Our gray button may do something with that eclipse type of effect. How about for now, we just get something in there. It could be... I guess I'll just make it yellowy. Really, I like gold. Maybe I need to adjust those oranges to make them further away from gold later on. And go for gold right here. Make sure it doesn't have too much green in it. Definitely tired because my eyes are struggling to see the difference here, but yeah, maybe I'll move that orange further away, put a little more red into it, and keep this one as sort of a golden button. So let me save the preset. Start exporting these. Color, hue and satch, go to the gold. Okay, and then the last one here. All right, start exporting. Alright, let's get that into the game, and then I'll call it a night here. So, duplicate, gold, and let's start replacing idle hovered pressed from the device, gold idle, don't worship it, hovered, oh, that's gray, hovered, apply. So it'll be something like this. And these abilities would be unlocked throughout the game as you like travel across different like world sort of regions or zones. And I still have yet to actually implement those, but it'd be like, for example, you pick up the freezing tower ability from an icy zone, flamethrower from a volcanic zone, things like that. And the funny thing is the purple one and the orange are going to go away, I think. because I've got some code in there to make them go away, but they would be there. So if I put the red, let's say the red where the purple one is, then I'll basically tween these out, scale them up, and you would have 8 upgrade options, something like that. And then after they've been upgraded and the player has the proper currency and criteria met, there would be a subset of upgrade options from there. So like for the flamethrower, it could be a more condensed, higher damage flame cone, or it could be like a 360 flame with a shorter range, something like that. But yeah, decent progress for tonight, and I'm definitely too tired to continue, so I'm going to end the stream, and thank you all for watching. Catch me next time.